Let's talk a little bit about the process. So let's just pretend that I have been out on a listing appointment, and we have lots of other agents to do that, but I've been out on a listing appointment, and the person decides they want to list, and we're going to do a little bit of a rehab and refresh program. Oh, I do have a question before we get into this. What percentage of the time do you think somebody makes significantly more money because they've done the rehab refresh program on their property?
I mean, I would say 9 out of 10 times. I think in my 8 years here, I've only had one time where that wasn't the case. Out of, we're probably close to 60, 70 properties at this point that we've used this program with in different ways. And so it's a small percent.
So I go on a listing presentation, and it's time for you to get involved. What happens next?
So, you'll go on the listing appointment, you'll talk about me, talk about the program, the seller will agree, yes, I want to do this, and then I kind of go out, the agents give me a list of what they think based on the comps run and the information that our analyst has provided for them, and then they'll make a list for me, send me some photos, and then I'll go out, introduce myself, meet the sellers, kind of get my own eyes on the property. It's always good to have a second pair. And I have different, expectations of what things should look like, and I'm always trying to stay current on what's in and what's cool. So I try to do that the best I can. And then really after that, it's starting to gather quotes from different contractors, different people we've used in the past based on the needs of the seller and of the house. And once I get that, I propose it all to the seller. I say, hey, this is the plan. This is what I think needs to be done. These are the quotes. These are the invoices. Really, they just have to show up and see that, and then they can make a decision, yes or no. And once that's all negotiated and spoken about, I have them sign a listing agreement and a promissory note, which basically says, hey, we're going to fund this money to you up front. We'll be paid back at closing. And then from there, I take all those invoices, take the proposals, I schedule everything out. So that we hit that list date that the agent or you give me, and make sure everything's done within that time. And obviously there are adjustments that happen. Sometimes you do one thing and another item will show up, but we're always flexible negotiating with that, and making sure the seller is fully aware of what's going on. I visit the properties weekly, or I have my runner visit weekly, sending me videos and photos. Sometimes our contractors will send me videos and photos if I couldn't make it. And then sending those to the seller, because we've done a ton where the seller's not even in the state. So it's just constant communication, whether they're here down the road or on another state or country. We're making sure that they know exactly what's going on and that the work's being done.
What percentage of the time do the numbers work out? And I know I'm asking you questions that you're having to think, and I can tell because you're looking up, thinking about the numbers. but what percentage of the time do the numbers come in as we have estimated they will come in? Because I know you pad it by just a little teeny bit, 10% or something like that. How does that work out?
I mean, at this point, I've really, have a repertoire. I kind of can get an idea on prices after just, kind of the same thing over and over again. But I mean, most of the time, I speak to our contractors we have great relationships with. I kind of tell them the seller's goal, and they will figure out a way to work that in. But I bet most of the time, I mean, I never, I'm kind of taking out the middleman, and I'm putting myself in as the middleman position, free of charge basically, because I'm doing that work. So they're getting good rates because they're going straight to the source.